Hello and welcome back to another REBBL College League mentoring recap, I guess. I'm Zenj and this is MoshNinja's Wood Elves against a Skaven team in the REBBL European College League. So the Skaven team are missing two Gutter Runners, which is a massive blow to Skaven, but the Woodies are missing a War Dancer. Might be a Strip Ball War Dancer, which is a bit of a kick as well, so maybe that balances things out a little. Let's see how the times line up. Yes, I just need to get paused in the right place. Okay, so Mosh Ninja won the toss, chose to kick. That's almost always the right choice, so that's quite nice. Fans, one on fans with that's such a low roll. With any fan factor that might have been a +2 fame modifier, but just the one, or it should be. Yes, that's not showing up yet. So this is a 0 reroll Wood Elf team, which is kind of scary. It's always dangerous, always a risk. But it can work, just to be somewhat value efficient, but it's not something to recommend. Anyway, the Wood Elves have two loners, a rookie catcher, two rookie catchers, and a rookie war dancer. So lots of rookies. No bench, of course. The Skaven don't have a bench. They have two rookie gutter runners. In fact, everyone's a rookie on the pitch. Yep. So two stone vermin, two gutter runners, and a thrower. So two gutter runners is nice to face compared to the normal 4 that you see with Wood Elves, with Skaven. Sorry. Actually, I'm going to switch the view this from the Wood Elf side. Okay, so let's have a look at this setup. So while the backfield players are somewhat asymmetrical, the trees in the centre, which is interesting, I really like now placing the tree here, or here, and then having the other two linemen on the line of scrimmage on the inside there, so that if the opponent wants to block those linemen, which they do want to do, they often have to use one of the wide zone spaces to do that. I'd also absolutely always recommend you put your loners on the line to get punched rather than losing your rostered players. Especially this guy, he's on 5 of 6 SPP. You want to keep him around, try and get a vanity pass with him. But in any sort of case, the main thing that your loners are for getting punched on the line. I mean, I guess it doesn't matter too much when you don't have any rerolls that the loners are not. I'd go that. Oh, so also we've got this calm defense sort of going on here, leaving a gap to the side. Now against a slower team or a bashier team, I quite like that, or some sort of variant of this, to try and invite them to come down this way on the first turn, whereas the ball should be somewhere back here once you've got the kick skill, which you don't have yet. But against Skaven or an agility team like Elves, I don't really like it because this lets them set up a cage here very easily. Gutter runners are the fastest players in the game at movement 9. They only need to go a couple of tiles forward to be in range of scoring. So we could just set up a cage here very, very easily. Get the ball to a gutter runner and he's scored. Which brings us on to an interesting point of this match is, do you score quickly or not? Against almost all teams, I think, on offense, you often do want to score quickly as Wood Elves because you've got fantastic defense and you can usually turn the ball over and score yourself, and that's basically how you'll win all your games. But against another agility team, which I count Skaven as, they can also score very quickly, very, very quickly. So I'm not quite as convinced with this setup against this kind of team. Instead, I'd probably go for the chevron defense, where you have this player here, this one in a town to this place, same for him there, but both of the two maybe shifted across. I guess the point is that you would have a player here and here in the wide zone, and a player here and here. It does expose more of your players to getting blocked, but the one on the outside here They can only get a 1-die block if they're strength 3, unless they have guard. If they have guard, they'd have to slot them in here, which leaves them at risk of being surfed. So that doesn't often happen. Or better yet, if you have a sidestepper that you can put here and do block them, you can sidestep to trap them against the sideline, which is quite a nice trick, which can catch some people out. So just overall, I wouldn't leave this space open for Skaven, but we'll see how it goes. So he set up like this to get the block on that lineman. I'm surprised he's left the other lineman alone, which is quite nice. And they get a reroll. Oh, so they have the +2 fame. I must have misread that before, which made the difference in that reroll there. That could be a pain. So we're seeing here the gutter runner running all the way down. I don't think he's set up very well to do this, though. He should have more players here. Skaven are very fast, but they're very far away now. And the remaining players, he couldn't protect this gutter runner. And leaving him there is just asking him to push him against the sideline to force him to dodge out. Oh, that's interesting. Where's the throw going? So I guess it's picking up the gutter runner, which if you're going to use a reroll, you might as well, if you've got 4, is a safer option. That's an interesting placement. Perhaps he's going for the handoff into a sideline cage there. Oh, and a 1. Not handing off. So this is a common rookie mistake you can see quite a lot, where it's like the inverted cage. So rather than having players here, here, and here, he's got them in like sort of T-shape or a cross shape, which means you can just walk into this tile here to get a block on the gutter runner. You can just place a lineman here and here, and you've already got a 2 dice on the ball there, which is amazing, really. So hopefully we go for that, if he doesn't cover it off. And he rolls it buff down. Wow. Interesting. Okay, let's have a look at this. What to do. Right, so if you hadn't done this weird setup here, I would recommend we just go straight for the blitz onto the gutter runner and try and push him against the sideline. I guess keep the war dancer there, or push him back, run the war dancer out because he's your only one and you need to protect him, and run this lineman in to force him against the sideline. If you're not based from one of these tiles, then you shouldn't be able to be surfed unless he has frenzy, which doesn't. But as it is, there's very easy 2 dice on the ball there, with very few dodges required. You can just run the thrower or maybe the catcher. I wouldn't mind the catcher running through here and marking the lineman because it doesn't have block, and running the someone else to here to mark the storm vermin, and then just blitz for the war dance. You may as well go for it when he's left such a good blitz on the ball there. What else? I wouldn't use the tree until late in the turn once you've got everything else sorted. I'd probably run a random lineman just down the pitch as a scoring threat all the time. You almost always want one player somewhere in the opponent's half to receive any loose balls that you can scoop up and pass over to them. Let's say we do go for this. It's probably still worth marking that gutter runner up because it's only strength 2. And I suppose then trying to take these blocks, get another mark in here. If we can spare that many players, block him and block him, you can probably do quite well in a war of attrition in this match compared to most, thanks to Skaven being armor value 7. But we're going for the gutter runner, which isn't terrible either. But on that blitz, I think you should have come in from here to get the push and be able to push him here against the sideline. And once the player's in here, it forces him to blitz him off or do the 3+2+ dodge out, and he doesn't really want to try to catch in that situation either. But this is not what you want to do, because now you can just bring a player in to get a 1 dice to push the War Dancer against Sideline himself, and then also be able to blitz him and instantly surf the War Dancer, which will be an absolutely disastrous outcome this early in a match with only 1 War Dancer. So that's a terrible danger. At this point, another option is actually just to sort of do a little mini screen in here to be quite difficult to get past. A strength 3 guy here, perhaps. Catcher here and someone else around here. We'll see. Whoops, too far. Oh, what have I done? Too far. But before all these blocks, we should be moving these players. With no rerolls, a turnover is going to happen, more likely than not. So you want these in a useful position for the next turn before you start rolling any dice. Now that we have gone for this position here, maybe we should actually base with the catcher to protect the War Dancer a little bit. Otherwise, this is okay. Oof. 1 dice. Paid off. That does somewhat protect you from the surf, because it would have to be this gutter runner making the first block, pushing him here or here. So normally he'd just put an assist in here, but if he did that in this situation, he couldn't then easily get into the surf blitz. So instead he'd probably have to sacrifice a line right here to the 1 die, to there. Maybe he can't do it very easily. So that catcher helps a lot to avoid the surf. I'm surprised to see him pull back. Now that he is forming a proper cage and using up 5 players, and he has the others somewhat tied down, you best just try and control your half the pitch, I think. Oh, that's nice. Did he blitz then? Did he not blitz? That's the blitz. Okay. Alright, turn 2. What we're going to do, the very first thing would be fantastic if this tree can mark both of these line rats. I wouldn't go for the GFI up to here, it's just too much of a risk. But as he is, it's not being much use other than blocking down this little bit of area. So I'd move him here to force the dodgers away from both, or else tie up those line rats. What else? You've got a lineman on a lineman, which wants to be a 2 die block at some point. If you took that first and got a knockdown, which is kind of risky, 1 in 9 to fail, I'd bring this catcher up and try and surf this Storm Vermin. The alternative is you bring the catcher to here and then get the 2 dice on the Storm Vermin straight away, push him there and surf him with a lineman. And as long as these are all marked up, there's not too much risk of a counter surf then, particularly if you move these players to defend first. Let's see. Looks like we're going for the Gus Runner though, which is not bad. Not bad. But you do need a power for this to have any effect because you don't have block. And if this all goes horribly wrong, the War Dancer could still get served. Or it's more just that you want to be using your block skill while you have it. But it was a POW. I can't decide if I like following up there. No, not against the Storm Vermin, because he's going to get to block you straight away on 2 dice. I do like pushing the gutter runner next to your player so that he has to dodge away, but I wouldn't follow up in this situation. Particularly with that being a blitz, I think I'd just run back around here, and then have a very flimsy screen to see what he does with that, as well as trying to make a mess of these rats. Oh, where's this tree going? Oh no, I don't like that either, really. I mean, I guess it's going to start to form something of a screen. But I do think he'd be much better use marking both of these rats other than letting them just run away. Unless they get marked as well. Before you roll anything. Like that. So if that tree was there, obviously these guys can just run wherever they want to right now. He gets that easy block, but it's just a push. And now he's getting to just run past everyone, basically. We should always try and move these players who were not tied up before rolling a dice, especially with no rerolls. But even when you do have rerolls, it's best to play safe. Oh wow, snake eye dodge. Wow, that's amazing. Amazing result. Let's miss next game. Wow. Well, that's half the gutter runner's gone. Okay, so on this turn, you might be thinking, hang on, what's going on? We're dodging over there. Okay, that's nice. So against a very unagile team, you could think about blitzing the tree into here, but a gutter runner is just going to dodge away unless they roll snake eyes, like just having it up there. So I wouldn't risk the GFI from the tree, but I would immediately move the tree here to cover these 2 players. What else? Can't easily stop the score unless you go for a leap. It's quite a long way. But there's such an easy surf on one of his armor 8 players. I'd really be going for that first. What's the risk? I guess the risk is whoever marks him up gets counter surfed, so you'd have to do it by standing this player up, blocking him, then bring the catcher in here, getting the 2 die blocks, push him there, and seeing if one of these 2 can reach. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Maybe 2 GFIs, but I'd still take it. After bringing one of these ones around. Where would that leave you? I guess he'd be able to just cage up and delay this score, but you don't need very long to score yourself. So we'll see. But the tree's there, so that's great. He's up. There's your block. It's a push, which isn't terrible. This is probably the more sensible approach, is to rather than put everything in to get that surf. To pressure the ball. Yeah, I guess I should have recommended that, really. But rather than taking these two pluses, I would have blocked with the 1 answer unless you're going to do this and block with him. So maybe that's actually better than what I was suggesting, that you're not putting everything in to get the surf, but you are putting him in a position where he'll be surfed. So I'll probably just stay on the floor and go for the score. A couple of GFIs. So that's not a bad result at all, especially to get a gutter runner out the game by sheer force of luck. To somewhat force him to score in those number of turns isn't bad. I won't worry about his scoring at all. You might even consider playing for the 2-1 grind in this game. But we'll see how it goes. So he's gone for an extremely deep defense here, but you've got a long time to score him. So actually what I would do is just focus on the 3 that are on the line, even using your blitz on them, and keeping your team back and forcing him to come to you. What you don't want to do is be tricked into going for quite a deep blitz, because they'll just surround, and in the normal case, foul whoever it was that went for the blitz. Is this a 1-turn attempt setup? Oh, that's also why I don't want to set up so deep. That looks like a 1-turn to me. Which, it's just never worth doing if it's not the end of the half. The reason for that is not only because it's, you know, risky to actually pull off, but the biggest risk normally is your catcher failing one of his 2 or 3 GFIs around here, falling over and just dropping the ball up here with absolutely no protection. In a normal half, you know, not at the end of the half, that's far too much of a risk to just gift the ball to your opponent. So I wouldn't go for that. But also, to start off a 1-turn touchdown attempt, you need a blitz. I would have used the war answer for that, so I'd probably swap these 2 players over, and then blitzed here and, you know, pushed him into there and went from there, basically. I guess you were going to push in there, push the catcher, block again. But you need a player here, which probably has to be this catcher. And then if finally use the ward answer, but you're better off using the ward answer earlier on in the attempt. Anyway, he got a blitz, so that probably cancels that out. I think I also suggested before this that you can put the ward answer on the line for an offensive setup. That did mean if he was surrounded on at least the outer sides by your own players, rather than letting him get an assist here on a blitz. You know, if the ward answer was here, say, and this was your offensive setup, and you had the 2-die block there, you'd set someone up here for the tree to get a 3-die, and then these guys can get a 2-die. That would have been quite nice for an offensive setup, I think. He gets the POW. Wow. Oh, it's interesting you followed up. I think what we're going to see here is him overcommitting to this blitz quite a bit. Oh, maybe not. No, he's left these as safeties. That's fine. Alright, what do we do? I guess if you're going to block the storm vermin off, that gives you a 2-die blitz with a 1 answer somewhere. Either I would want to get a 3-die block with a tree, or push some people onto the tree, which would be this player, but you can't do that very easily. I suppose in this situation you just want to keep the ball quite deep, block his players away, and make him keep coming towards you. Oh, wow. Wow. Wow, the injuries this game. So we took root, but they got a POW. It's worth saying, if you use the tree later on in a turn and he rolls a both down and they don't have block and he's rooted, I would often take the both down to unroot the tree, otherwise he's out for the whole half. Because with arm value 10, you can, if you're not against a scary player, it's a decent risk to take the both down. This I don't like, because no matter what happens, that player can get surfed. Okay. Maybe not with the wall that's there. Oh, those fingers. Okay, let's see what he does with this. So even with your tree rooted, he still has an effect to the pitch that he's not going to move next to him. So you tend to find that the game either moves to one side or the other of the tree, and you can use him to pivot your team around somewhat. Just pushes, that helps. Now he's going quite hard down this side, whereas most of your team is here, so you want to get the ball up here and away. So you desperately need to pick up the ball safely this time, or that gut runner is going to get it and score. But how do you do that? One option is you stand here, I guess, but then you get served quite easily. That's a bit of a pain. If you fail this pickup, there's a good chance it's going out of bounds and it's scattering anywhere in here, and then it's anyone's game. You can't avoid that. The best you can do is if it instead scatters to any of these spaces, and if you had enough players around to cover it off. So that would mean bringing this catcher all the way back here, bringing the throw around to here somewhere, and then going for the pickup. And if you make it, I wouldn't hate running up and trying to throw to the other catcher. After taking the block or two, because if that works, then you can run him, maybe one or two other players around. His storm vermin are well out of the way, so he's looking for a power to knock the catch down. Given the state of the pitch, I wouldn't hate that. Particularly if you use the lineman to make that block. I mean, it's risky. Now that you've done that, if you could get away with a load of bullshit to give him the ball, you can run up here and protect him with the wall dancer somewhat. But I would still pass the catcher, rather than the wall dancer, just for the catch reroll. It's a pickup. Sorry. Nice little vine pass, which gave him a level up. That's probably worth doing, actually. And after the catcher, nice. Oh, where are we going? I would either have blitzed from here to push this line right into this mess, or if you are going to blitz that lineman, maybe blitz from here to push him onto the tree to actually get some more use out of the tree. And then I suppose you would have to just cage up around this area for a turn. But doing very well against these rats. It does let you just run through the gap. So your wall dancer blitz, he could have just kept moving there. Which wouldn't have been so bad. Particularly if you could get into like here. I'm not sure how much movement he had left. That doesn't seem unreasonable. If you got him here, you can then run the ball around here. And it's a lot safer. Normally I wouldn't follow that up, but in this case I would because Skaven are so fast. Just like what else? I don't really like that go for it. If there was a 2-space gap and it was here, that just stop a lot of players from being able to move around. But with him making the GFI, they can just run this gap there. Or here. But just the one GFI doesn't give him much benefit. If it was 2 and you double marked this thrower, I guess that'd be something. But I don't like the random GFI as it is. And I would have definitely had the catcher further up this way. I'm not sure quite how close to the sideline, but you don't want to be in range of anyone with block like this. Oh, that helps. That's one GFI. Yeah, if it was around here, we just won't be able to reach him, I don't think. I'd be surprised if he dodges and picks the ball up, but no, he's better off doing that. Alright, how do we recover this? Well, you might as well send this loner up, even if it does nothing else, just to have this extra marker on the catcher and the ball. It's worth having him there. And then you basically have these players free to play around with. I guess first you bring him up somewhere to here just to be somewhat useful. That said, you've got the gutter runner to worry about. If he gets the ball, it goes to this gutter runner and then he scores straight off. So maybe he goes there actually. Other than that, you have to make a 2+ somewhere. You either do a GFI with a thrower, or you dodge him away. I guess I prefer the GFI with a thrower, just in case that dodge fails. And then you've got another line rat free. Yeah, I'd leave these two marked. And I think I would go for that extra GFI to get in there, and then bring the War Dancer in for the Blitz. Well, that's the other option. Does get you further up the pitch. I'm glad you took the Blitz first rather than this block here. So you definitely want to push him on the ball because he's not down. Either one of your players catches it or it goes somewhere else. But there's no risk of him catching it, and you might get a free catch yourself. But no, how far can he reach? I guess that's it. I'd probably leave him there, yeah, rather than risk the GFI. If you had the reroll, you'd go for that. But without the reroll, I think it's too risky. Oh, I forgot you had this player actually. So in that case, he might as well go for the ball. It's an interesting choice. That's nice. We're getting a lot of armor breaks against these rats. That's some amazing removals, but not as many as it feels like for the number of armor breaks. So the gutter runner's here. It's a shame this guy got knocked down, because otherwise you had quite a quite nice chain push on here, even if it's a 1-die. But as it is, you can't risk getting a player into this spot to sort out the chain push. So that's off the table. It's easy to forget about a player who's so deep, but now that his other players have moved up, you may as well bring him up in case anything happens. Let me get this turn thing out of the way. So what do you do? I think you're just going to have to throw some dice at this problem. So I'd stand him up, bring the catch around, over to here, or yeah, to here. Because the crazy plan, I would suggest, is that you just then blitz the gutter runner or the War Dancer. And if you can push him here, then you dodge out and try to pick up and dodge out and score. If you get the both down, I think you just have to go for the dodge and pick up and see how that goes. It's a risk with the War Dancer, but that's what I'd go for. Oh. Not much you can do about that one. And you always want to stand up your players, even if it means to get blocked. Just when you've got something of a scrum going on like this, it just helps to have those bodies around the ball and where the ball is. Even if they're not basing it, just to restrict your opponent's options like that, really. Surprised he didn't push on the ball there. But there's not a lot of chance of him scoring unless the gutter runner gets the ball, I suppose. But he's not going to try and score. Okay. I think he should, and I think he should just run down here and... can he reach it? Maybe. Maybe not. What was that? 5+ dodge. That was a valiant attempt. Guess it was the best option, but that's a bit of a shame. Nothing more came of that. Okay. So the KO comes back. You can kind of expect that. So does yours, so can't feel hard done by. And run offense. So you don't want to try a one-turn touchdown unless it's the end of the half. He's gone for the same setup. It worked for him before, but it looks like it's a bit deeper this time. If you want to win, you have to score quickly, in short. Which is just what happens when you end up 1-0 down. I don't suppose either side's much better than the other. I guess he's got a loner on this side, not on that side, but he's got a lot of rerolls, so the loner's worse. He's got the blitzer on this side, so you probably want to attack through this side here. How would you do that? I would actually have the tree here, I think, and get the 3 die to start off with. Maybe leave a bunch of players here, maybe 2 there, maybe 1 just marking him out of the way, and then get the 2 die block and run the other player around. But then most of your team you want around here. You have a tough choice. Do you give the ball to the war dancer or the catcher? I suppose this catcher, just because he'd level up if you score. Normally you're thinking about the strength difference and the skills that you have. He does have block, and he does have 1 blocker, blitzer. So the war dancer is a lot safer. But you've got that catch to make with no rerolls. So maybe we'll go for the war dancer actually. Oh, and you get a touchback. That must have been a misclick by him. So in this situation, you do not really want to give it to your thrower or someone in the backfield. I'd give it straight to the war dancer. And to be as safe as possible, probably blitz with the war dancer. To push that line right here. Run him up here somewhere. Form a little sideline cage. He'll probably run his team in front of it, and if he does, you can try and swing around to the other side, or you can leap over him, which is probably too risky without a reroll. But in a normal game, you can risk that leap to score. But it's not a terrible choice, going into the backfield and just keeping the ball safe. This, though, I would always use block or wrestle first. It's just so much more likely to fail otherwise. Or if not, then use the 3 dice on the tree. Because it's nearly as safe as a 2 die block. It's not as safe, which is interesting. Plus he's got mighty blows, so that can happen. Wow. I guess you're saving the blitz. No, it's not terrible. This I'm not sure about though, the extra marker. I would have maybe blitzed from here or here and then ran backwards and use these other 2 players to form a tiny screen around your war dancer. but I wouldn't want to leave him there, really. In fact, it might be what your opponent was hoping for with the really deep setup, that you'd come up for a blitz and leave the players doing the blitzing somewhat exposed. And there's alright though. Although we can get a very easy 2-die on that ball. Just puts a marker here and runs him around to there. So it's not great. One extra player and you want him one forward and someone here, and then you're basically safe. But as it is, it's not a cage, it's not a screen. Whoa. Do you think that was a mistake from him, or do you think he should have just brought this line rat round to there, blitz from there, knock the ball down, and see what happens? If he can. I mean, as it is, he probably can't screen this off. Can he? No. No, of course not. He has a player here. So you can blitz. Or you just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I mean, okay, it's some dice, but it's not very many. That's a very nice screen, though. At best, you can only get the 1 die on this thrower, which is sort of worth taking if you protect the ball first. So, you'd bring one of these guys up to mark here, or whatever this does. I need to see what it does first, don't I? So probably first, yeah, run one of these in here. But then make sure this ball is protected. Form a little advanced cage up with him there, this guy up here, bring this guy around. Then you go for the blitz, and if you get the gap, you might as well go for the score. But that's playing it safe. I think I would have liked it more if we'd hit someone without block. Just don't play in the odds that he has block and he has armor value 8. If you'd hit armor value 7, it would have been an armor break. There's a surprisingly big difference between each level of armor. But if you're going to run through the tackle zones, I don't like it. But it worked. But no, I think, is that safer? It's a little bit safer, but I just prefer, I think, to protect against failure a bit more by protecting the ball first for the blitz, and try and make a safer path for the ball, and instead risking the war dancer in this case, or just risking whoever it was that was making the 1 die. So that defense second goal was quite nice, that if you are going to go to one side with your setup, instead putting the tree in your line of scrimmage on the other end is a much better choice to sort of force them to use the players here to get knockdowns, or not, and then they're basically stuck in this part of the pitch. Or they can only get 2 in this wide zone, and most of the rest of the teams here, so they can't get as far around here. That's a really nice setup, I like that. I think the only thing I'd change is put the tree on the outside if it was a bashier opponent. Unless he has guard, if you give your tree guard as first choice, which is quite a nice one, this helps a lot to stop those blocks. And he gets the reroll, and you give a touchback. Was that a 6 on the kick? Oh, it's a 5. That must have been a misclick, surely. If you aim for the spot, it can't scatter out unless it's a 6. So that's not good. Oh no, he's going for the 1-turn touchdown? What's going on? I don't understand. So he has 2 GFIs. Oh, he'll probably make up the reroll. What? Did he use the reroll? Did I miss that? He did. Right. That is why you don't try the 1-turn touchdown. That is precisely why you wait to the end of the half. Or is the only time you want to try one. Because, look at that. There's a good chance he had his arm broken. I hope that catcher's not going to pick up the ball, because he could easily fail the pickup. Instead, you want to get a marker on this gutter runner at least. And think about what else can go wrong, or what else you want to do next. I'd probably run a random lineman down here, just to have some more room on the pitch. And I'd also probably take the blitz first, because this is a 2+. It's 1 in 6 to fail. Instead, you want to maybe blitz the lineman here into the rest, maybe get another block as a bonus. And then go for the ball. And if you get that, I guess you can't pass it at that distance without a reroll. So more markers on the gutter runner, and you force him to come for you or go for your scoring threats. But whatever happens, that's good. Whatever happens, you're in a good position. Oh, I don't like using the tree first. Just that ball's so easy to dodge into and pick up, and you scored. I mean, it's 2 3+. One of them he gets a reroll on, the other he can use a reroll on, and he's scored, and you're 2-1 down. It's just too risky. That doesn't make a difference, unless you're going to foul him. I wouldn't hate fouling it, particularly as it's his only gutter runner. If 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7... Yeah, I think I might actually recommend fouling Wood Elves for once. I would have blocked him from the other side. If you get a push, you can get a block here rather than dealing with this mess. And he can actually step away, and these 2 rats have to deal with the tree or dodge away. Oh, but that happens. So, does he just easily score? If you weren't going to foul him, I think it's obvious now this catcher should have been here instead to make the pickup a lot harder. And the dodge. That dodge would have then failed if he was dodging into 2 tackle zones. But he gets the ball. So that's one to learn from. For both coaches, I suppose. Massively advantage on casualties though. So again, you can still win this with a bit of luck by scoring very quickly and then turning him over very quickly, which isn't out of the question at all, particularly with such numbers advantage. Alright, how do we set up? I think everything has to go into scoring in 2 turns. So I'd actually just tie all 3 rats up with the tree there. Have 3 players spread around here for picking up and getting the ball somewhere up here. And just having the rest of the team up here. Once you get a cage somewhere in his half, you can score basically. He can't screen up with that many players very well. Oh, it's a free die, so maybe that's not too bad. This though, this I don't like. No, either go for the ball, I think, because there wasn't much risk from these rats, or go for the blitz, or at least take your moves first. This is such a race against the clock now. Now I don't like this blitz position either, because if you get a pushback, Nearly did. You can only go here and here, and then he's got a free block on your catcher. So say if you go here and you only get to push him, you can push him there. And he doesn't get that free block. Oh, GFI. I'm not sure how I feel about that. I guess he's getting the ball. So if one of these goes here and the other one goes here, he just runs up here somewhere. And all that works. It'd be alright. Okay. Oh, forgot about him. That's a good idea. Ah, it's a 1. Can't be helped. I think everything was roughly took in the right order that time, apart from these blocks at the start instead of the blitz. But you can't do anything about the failed pickup, so everything else is in quite a good place. Let's see what he does first. I'm very surprised he went for that rather than going for the catcher with that blitz, because that would have been a 2-die as well, and then both of these players could have tried to block that line elf. And that's why we want to mark people with the tree. Nice. Plus that was a 5+. Wow. He might as well have gone this way if he was going to do that. Right, I wouldn't want to roll any dice unless it's going to help me score here, so I'd stand him up. And what I'm thinking about doing is obviously picking up the ball, throwing it to this catcher handing it off to this catcher, and him scoring. So if you had a reroll, I might hand off to the odd answer to get him some SPP. But as it is, I don't want to do that without a reroll. So I'd just blitz away the Storm Vermin and then go for this catcher. So if that's the play, then I'm thinking, where do I want these players to go in case any of that fails? Either the pickup fails, something here fails, or this catch here fails. And that's probably the most important one. So I guess I'd have an extra player around here in case the ball lands at these feet. If the ball lands around here, this gutter runner is going to get to run down and cause problems. So I'd probably spread these other 2 players out here and here. And then roll a dice and see what happens. But what I've just explained there is how I generally approach each turn. You think of your game plan, obviously, but then think where it can go wrong, and then try and defend about that going wrong without rolling risky dice is the key thing. Sometimes you need to roll some dice to help, and if it's a 1 in 36 to fail, that could be worth it, but they can fail. And that's the joy of Blood Bowl. Okay, the follow-up's not too bad there. I wouldn't do anything else. You have to score if you want to win. So I'd stand him up. Well, no, as I said, I'd move him down here and move the other one here. Leave that gap of 2 spaces, so it's filling in or blocking off as much area as possible, but then bring the other one to here. Because if the scatter's down here, that's bad. And then see what I can do. But he's taking a block. No, it's too much of a risk. Paid off, but I think it's a bad play. Okay, he makes the pickup. He goes the pass, which is nice. Better than the GFI. Oh. Catch free roll. Makes it work. Nice. Okay, so for this defense, you may expect him to go for another one-turn touchdown. To defend against that, all you need to do is set up as before, but move your line of scrimmage over here. So, although I was saying I really liked this setup, it did let him get the one-turn touchdown. If those players were over here, he needs those pushes from using your own players to make the one-turn touchdown happen, and then he'd find it very difficult to get through here. You might even bring these players one square back to make it even more difficult, if that's what he's going to go for. I wouldn't expect him to, and I wouldn't expect any coach to go for a 1-10 touchdown, as I've explained, though. So, given that he did, I think I just move those across there. Past that, though, I always like to set up as far forward as you can safely. So you don't normally want to set up any players here, because an aggressive opponent will set up hoping to get to a quick snap to then get some free blocks in. So instead, you want to set up this far back, and the reason for that is what Elves are fast. You're often on defense, well, you are on defense in this case, and you might get a blitz. If you get a blitz, you've got such great movement that you can often get onto the ball, and usually that then is the game won, if that happens. But the further back you are, the less you can take advantage of a blitz. Alright. What was that kick? Oh no. What was that? Just always aim for the highlighted blue square. A touchback's just a gift to your opponent. You're very unlikely to get a good kick. Like, I guess you were hoping for a shallow kick there, somewhere around here. It's just not worth the risk. And actually, once you have the kick skill, I would always kick into the backfield against every opponent I can think of, really. Because then his ball carrier would have to go backwards, do the pickup, go forwards a little bit, and that's as far as they can go. And then either they take a very risky pass, which would give you the ball, or they stay up there and they have to bring their team backwards, which gives you space to move into. If they don't do that, then you can run your team in between and threaten the ball. So you've always got great options from kicking the ball very deep. But giving them the touchback lets him try another 1-turn touchdown. Okay. I don't expect him to get this one. It was quite unlucky that he failed the GFI last time. Yeah. There we go. I mean, it's probably not much different if it wasn't a touchback. With a normal kick, he probably does get to recover it and pass it to the gutter runner, who can catch it quite easily. But then the gutter runner is in tackle zones, so he has to do all those pushes first, and then if he doesn't get knocked down, he's passing it to somebody in a tackle zone, which makes it more tricky, and you might get the intercept, and blah blah blah. But also it might have landed around here or around here, and it's just too far for that lone thrower to get to, and to pass it quite well. Anyway, that's probably enough about 1-10 touchdowns, but in this weird match, you might have expected him to go for it again, and you could have protected it with it by moving your players over, just for the setup that you had around here, that you won't be able to then dodge through those players at all easily. Anyway, yet another offense. This is an interesting game. I guess it's just going to play out the same as before. It's the same advice applies. How many rerolls has he had? How many touchbacks have you both had? Alright, so as I said last time, normally you do want the ball very deep on a thrower, and then you can just distribute it anywhere. But on a touchback like this, in a setup like this, against a team like this, I'd give it to the War Dancer. Blitz with him as the first action, move up here, then protect him, then take your blocks, and then see what else you can do. And if he can't blitz the one answer, you've got fantastic odds of scoring. I think it would have actually helped if you'd been bitten more by failing blocks without the block skill. Oh wow, this treeman's on fire. One more for a level. That's worth going for. I don't mind the vanity style pass there. A couple more gives him a level, so it's worth doing. Plus you've actually got a lot of time to score in. You need to score twice to win, which is starting to get unlikely now. But you've got a crazy numbers advantage, so it's possible. But I don't like taking that block without moving these players up here and here. Again, he's got a super easy blitz on the ball there. And in this kind of situation, I wouldn't actually be basing up either. That gives him a block with an assist to free up that space. So one of the key tactics as what else is just having your players in places where they're annoying. You can only blitz one of them. So all the ones he can't blitz, he usually won't dodge past either, unless it's a super agile team. Even then, they probably won't risk it. Yeah, it's not great. Again, he just puts the player here, and then he's got 2 die blitz on the ball. He either gets both down or a pow, and the ball could scatter out here, and there's a good chance you've lost. I mean, no, you've not lost straight away, but he shouldn't have an easy 2 die on the ball that he's not taking. He really doesn't have enough players to screen, so I don't know what he's going for here. Oh. Well, I guess if he's going to make a bunch of dodges, he can screen. No? Okay, easy. He just put a player here, blitz the one answer, him out the way. Maybe not. I guess that then forces a dodge with the ball. Oh well. It's probably the best odds you can get. No, what am I saying? You just, yeah. What am I saying? You know better. Just blitz the storm vermin and then you just walk the ball in. Simple. Not so simple. Okay, still. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then GFI. Not great. But not much to lose. That'll give you 2 turns to turn him over and score. And you might as well go for it. So I don't like taking that block. Even if it's a 2 die, it's still a 1 in 9 to just fall over. The player there is not bad though. Oh, that GFI. No, you could just scored with that. It feels like you're playing for the draw, and that's fine. I guess you could be worried about no matter what you do, unless you score in the last turn, he's going to do another 1-10 touchdown. Wow, look at that. Look at that blitz. So I think throughout this match, there's been a lot of times you've given him an option to blitz the ball very easily, and most of the time he's not taking it, which is a bit of a mistake. But he did there and he got it. Could have gone a lot worse. So he doesn't have much of a team left, but he could actually fail to score, which wouldn't be surprising. Oh, a free dice in the guns runner is quite nice. So let's hope this works. It does. Those injuries. That's what elves. Okay. Amazingly, you've got 11 players for the last couple of turns, which is amazing. And I guess it's not obvious, but as before, you just need to move these players over here. Probably put the tree there actually, and then he's not doing a 1-turn, but simply. But he would be able to just run his team into here. Do a sideline cage. You could somewhat screen it off very easily normally. So it does somewhat stop him scoring. So don't hate that. But still, I think I prefer the chevron defense of players here and here. And then players here and here. And the same on the other side. And it just doesn't give him the room to get past you. Oh, so he's not trying to score now? Okay. What is this? Oh, it's a 1-turn done there. Okay. Yeah. But it's not. And now that he's set up for it, he's not in a very good place to do anything else. So the lesson from this game is don't try 1-turn touchdowns unless it's turn 8 or 16 for both of you. What you do want to do is set up for a 2-turn that you can make as safe as possible. So now he's literally had to potato the ball there. Give you the easiest, I'd say, free die on the ball ever. Yeah. Whereas what he could have done is set up most of his team here and here, and just run over here and had a very easy sideline cage. As I say, you would have been able to screen it off, but then he'd be able to probably block one player out and he'd be able to at least try the dodgers through 1 tackle zone. Oh no, what's this? What's this block? No. Oh. If that failed, you'd lost. You'd literally lost the game on that block compared to instead you bring one of these round. So they got to run A, bring the catch around, and then you get a free die of the wall dancer. And these players who are further away are the ones you can then use to do the assists here. So that's a very easy mistake to make. Is you think, oh, I need an assist here, so I'll just bring this guy in. But he's right there, and he's the one who has the range to get around to this area that's quite important. Whereas these guys are out the way. And so instead one of these is the one that you want to use as that assist. You always want to be making use of the movement allowance that you have. So as I was saying there, you could have made this a free die with an extra assist, which would have been much safer. And much more likely to knock him down as well. As it is, and with the players so far away, all he has to do is he gets to at least try to knock the wall dancer over. Does he? Maybe not, but he just gets to run down here and very likely score, so I would have much preferred that catch to be here instead. Oh, but it is a 1 in 9 fail. So that 1 in 9 you just failed on, that could have been any of the blocks that you took. Oh, that's weird. Oh, I guess there's no reason not to use the Apo there. And that's the end. So, 1-turn touchdowns. Don't try those until you have to. But other than that, I think the major thing this match is blocks. Part of it is taking blocks, even if it's a 2-die block, is very risky without a reroll. Even with a reroll, it's not something you want to be doing. I played a game as Wood Elves today, and I needed a 2-die block to get a sack on the ball, rolled it both down, and re-rolled it into a double skulls, and almost lost the game. But my opponent then kept rolling ones, so I got away with it. But also on blocks is the direction you want to push your opponent. So more for blitzers, you want to be thinking about where you place the blitzer for where you get the pushback to, and assuming it'll be a pushback, I guess, rather than knock down. For if it gives them an extra free block, or if it gives you an extra block, depending on where they go. I think that's quite a big thing. Anything else? And I think just defense in general. I think you were playing into your opponent's hands a little bit there. He was setting up very deep, and you were somewhat taking the bait of going in for that blitz. I think the general offense that I use as Wood Elves is I try and set up a screen or a cage on one side of the pitch, better a screen, and then see if I can score from there. Most of the time it'll get screened off, but then against almost any other race, you'd be able to pivot around them and just try and make something of any opportunities that arise. Okay, that was a very interesting match and a lot of SPP. It's very nice. Just have a very brief look at the dice. That sort of looks to be expected. Not many pushes from your opponent. Wow, that is a lot of pals and stumbles. There should be double the number of pushes as the other dice, so that's very high. Kind of average dice. There's a few ones and anything else, which is nice. Very, very few take routes is nice. In fact, overall, it just went very well. Lots of things worked when they could have gone wrong, and they almost wish they had gone wrong, to hopefully avoid them in the future. Okay. So I think that's it from this one. I think there's some very important tips there. So hopefully we'll see something different next time. See you then.